Introduce our guest speaker today, Mr. Dr. Ken from Bravo's mental health expert. Mr. Dr. Ken, please give it up for him.
Greetings, everyone.
Mr. Long.
Mr. Long. Okay. I thought maybe I would give you a little bit of background about who I am. I'm from the Bronx, New York. I currently live in Washington, D.C. I'm an ordained minister. Went to the best seminary in the country, Virginia Union, out of Richmond, Virginia. And for the last 20 years, I've been working in a church setting. You name it, I kind of do it. Overseeing all the various ministries, men, women, marriage, youth. I did all the marriage counseling. And one particular area that I really like is funeral service. I like to be with people who are struggling with their pain, because I think when you get with people who are in pain, you can really impart some great energy and help them to see it from a bright place. I'm also a licensed therapist. Probably like 30 years now. You name it, I've worked with it. I've worked with inner city kids, I worked with families, I worked marriage, pre-marriage, to pretty much, we say, from the cradle to the grave. Recently, it's been around 5 weeks, I retired from full-time church ministry. Not because I didn't love what I was doing, because I did love what I was doing, but I believe that God has a bigger calling on my life, and that is so I can travel and speak to persons about mental health. And here we are. You're actually my first assignment. Isn't that funny that God can speak something into your life and then it can come into reality? All right, so you basically know that I am let's just say I'm a church guy. So I want to ask you, is anybody here grateful? Grateful to be here, grateful to be alive, grateful for another opportunity to look at your mental health? Being grateful is really important to have a successful life and to have good mental health. I don't know about you, but I just want to be better. I know that a lot of us, we always look at other people and we say, oh, I'm gonna help this person, I'm gonna help that person, but the only person that you can really kind of help and change is yourself. Yes. You can inspire somebody, you can encourage somebody, you can cajole somebody, but the only person that you can really change is yourself. And the change that you ought to want to make in your life is to be better, to be a better woman, to be a better man, to be a better son, to be a better daughter, to be a better person, to be a better friend, to be a better babysitter. Nobody laughed. That was my only joke. I'm gonna say it again. To be a better babysitter. Well, I definitely won't use that line again. Okay, all right. Whoa. I'm gonna get the writer for that one. They said they'll laugh at that part. I didn't even get a laugh. Okay. Let me say, better starts with your mental health. I believe if you want to be better, you got to continuously look at your mental health. So we come this Sunday to be empowered. We come today to get right to it. So let me just ask you, is anybody here, let me ask you again, is anybody in here grateful? If you're grateful, say, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Say it again, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. That's what we call an affirmation. Now turn to the person next to you and say, I'm grateful. Come on, say it like you mean it, I'm grateful. Now if you're grateful, I want you to stand on your feet and give yourself a round of applause. Come on, stand on your feet. This is the empowerment bunch, right? You came here to be empowered. Amen. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right. I want one person. One bold, empowered person. I know you're in here. One person that's to come up here and tell us what is mental health. Come on. One person. Anybody? There's no right or wrong. Come on. Oh, empowered. Come on, let's celebrate as she comes. And turn.
I think personally, mental health is like what's deep within, Like,
Look at them, don't look at me.
I think mental health is deep within the stuff that we hide, that don't nobody know about, that we try to keep in a box, like things that we need to talk about and need to expose. To me, I mean, see Paul, but to me, I think that's mental health. I could be wrong. That's why.
No, stay right there, stay right there. Is that all you want to say?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't go nowhere. Mental health is just the overall being of how you handle your emotions and how you handle your behavior. But you have done a great job. And I have an empowerment bracelet just for you. God bless you. Let's celebrate as you. All right. I'm looking for another person to come up here. What is good mental health? Uh-oh. Here we come, an empowered person's coming. All right, she just stood right up.
Good afternoon. Good mental health is stability. Good mental health is no matter what endeavor you take upon, you must be focused, you must pace yourself, you must calm, steady, slow. You must sit in a quiet space and place and be able to act out in your mind what it is that you want your future to be, what your destiny is, where you're trying to go in life, what your goal is. Set a goal before you, what you want out of life. And then you act on it, but at the same time, you cannot overwhelm yourself, because when you try to take so many assignments on at one time, it will overwhelm you, because you are only one person, and you cannot, what you'll do is you'll end up frustrating yourself, you'll end up getting agitated, you'll end up getting discouraged, and not only, you cannot be anxious for anything. Everything takes time. You must endure the process. You must endure the process. You must endure the process. That means just because things don't happen in the order that you want them to happen, and as quickly as you want them to happen, you must not rush the process. Because when you rush the process, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to make wrong decisions. So therefore, number one, you must be firm first in what you want to do. Firm in what you want to do. And number two, you must have wisdom in what you're doing. And you must not, number three, allow anything to distract you from your focus.
Don't go nowhere. Beautifully said. Good mental health is about being in touch with your thoughts and your emotions, understanding how you feel, and then acting them out in a healthy way. You did a great job. I think I have the perfect, empowerment bracelet for you. Thank you. Come on, let's celebrate as you go. And now we're gonna have a male. We had two females. Maybe you don't feel empowered. It might be a younger guy. I don't know. No? Okay, he said not me today. Might be somebody in the back. But it's got to be a man. Otherwise, I'm just going to tell you what it. Oh, I got to tell you what the guy's about to drink. I think he was getting his throat ready. That's okay. All right. Cool. All right. But let me tell. I got to tell you what it is first. He may not know the answer. What is bad mental health? Oh, you think he knows? Okay, come on, let's.
I think bad mental health is when you allow certain situations and certain people to take you out of your element, out of where your peace, your patience, your goal setting, your positive thinking, when you allow them or things to make you go backwards and make you angry, and it only slows down everything you're trying to accomplish in your life.
Amen. All right. Come on, let's celebrate, brother. You're empowered, man. Take your empowerment, brother. Bracelet. We appreciate you. All right. What I want to do today, I'm not going to stand before you long, Paul. I don't know. You told me 30 minutes, then you said 45 minutes. So I was like 20 minutes. Get my own time clock. What I want to do is provide you with 2 ways that you can safeguard and enhance your mental health. I want you to listen to me for real, for real. I want you to hear these things. I want you to memorize and get them in your head. And then I want you, when you leave here, to practice those 2 things. They will enhance your mental health. 2 things. The first one is to dig deep and assess your emotions. Dig deep and assess your emotions. What that means, dig deep means to really get in touch with how you're feeling. Like, how am I really feeling? What's that feeling? And to name that particular emotion. And then to figure out, why is it that you're feeling that way? You know, the interesting thing about emotions, and I love emotions. To me, emotions are a gift from God. God gave us the ability to feel so we can better understand how we're being affected by somebody or something. And when you know how you're being affected by an experience, then you can better make decisions about what you want to do next. And there are so many feeling words. I don't know about you, but what I found that most of us tend to use 1 or 2 feeling words. We're either mad/angry or we're happy. But there's so many other feelings words. Frustration, exhausted, delighted, aggravated. Oh, good. Any more feeling words? I like that. Come on. I like that. Any more feeling words you can think of? Annoyed. Who said annoyed? Nice. Any other feeling words? Overwhelmed. Yes, I love that one. You know, I love that one because when you get that, you can figure out what you want to do next. A lot of times people don't get to that point and they just keep on doing it. Anything else? Triggered. Okay, nice. Disturbed. That's one of those edgy ones, right? I'm disturbed by you right now. You're just doing too much right now. Get it together. Yeah. Any other emotions? Mm-hmm. All right. Let me tell you a thing. My man, if you can get this will change your life, bro. It will. The thing about emotions is when you get in touch with the right emotion, and I want to encourage you all to download a feeling list, right? You can just download it afterwards. But when you get that right feeling, it kind of puts you in touch with yourself. And what happens oftentimes, we'll say, I'm mad, but I'm really disturbed. I could say that I'm aggravated, but I'm really, how you know I was going to say annoyed? You know, I'm getting that. And so we don't, oftentimes we don't get the right feeling word. And my man, you know what happens when you don't get that right feeling word? I know we use a lot of colloquial terms now, but that's not good for our mental health because a woman, she won't know what you're talking about. If you don't really get the right word, you know, what's a colloquial one that I really love? I'm done. I really don't know what that means. I don't know why people use that one, but when you get the right feeling word, right, it puts you in touch with yourself. And when you can, as you start to use more feeling words, you'll find that you can feel them in different parts of your body, right? And when you don't get the right feel, let's just say I like that word, disturbed. I don't know, it's just staying with me. Let's say I'm disturbed, right? But I say I'm mad. Because you did not get the right emotion, it just stays right there inside of you. And it starts to build up and build up and build up. Kind of reminds me of Dexter. And I'm going to give a couple of stories, but I changed the name, but the stories are right. Dexter got referred to me because he was in the court system. For whatever reason, I thought at the time, he was in public and he just jumped out of his car and he beat his lady down to the ground. I know you would never do that, my brother. But he beat her down to the ground in front of all these people. So they referred him to me to figure out what's going on with Dexter. And Dexter explained to me that several years ago, his grandmother, his favorite person, passed away. He then goes on to say, and he was devastated by this. And then a short time later, his aunt passed away. He was just trying to get a grip on a grandmother. And then his aunt passes away. And then what happens months later is his parents, they divorce. And then he says, I had so many different emotions and I felt like I really needed somebody. And so I started a new relationship. Unfortunately, the relationship that he started was with somebody who would beat him. And he said he will allow her to beat him because he just felt that bad about himself. So this is what happened, right? You get it, right? He has all these different things that are going on. He's not in touch with his emotions. And so what happens, this goes on, and then he loses it just like that. Now, at least we judge him. That can happen to any of us if we don't stay in touch with our emotions. Now, I don't know about his family. Probably they didn't even think that he might be going through stuff because we're still new to mental health. You know, we think Jesus will fix it, and we do know Jesus will fix it, right? Won't he fix it? Jesus on the main line, if you talk with him today, he will fix it. But Jesus also worked. Jesus to me was the ultimate counselor. And that when we give attention to our mental health, then we become more holistic. So you have various emotions that help you to better understand how you're being affected by someone or something. But you have to dig deep. Because I feel y'all listening to me like that. I like it. Yeah. I like it. So one of the most sensitive things you can ever say to anybody, this is the most sensitive thing you can ever say, trying to get next to somebody or get close to somebody, maybe politically correct here, is to say, how are you feeling? I know we usually say, hey, what's up? How you doing? But that doesn't really connect with the person. The most sensitive thing you can say is, how are you feeling? She liked that, I can tell. She gave me that look. The most sensitive thing you can say is, how are you feeling? And this is what I found out about most of us, is that we give generic responses. And y'all know what the most popular one is? And I'm telling you, I'm encouraging you not to use it anymore because it's generic and it doesn't really work. And tell the person how you feel. Is, hello.
Hello.
We were waiting for you.
Okay.
Hey, all right. Is, how are you feeling? I'm good. Anybody use that term often? I'm good. Anybody else use that? You use that term, my brother? I'm good. What does it? I'm good. You use that one? I don't know what that means. When people say that, I don't know it. So in my practice, you cannot use I'm good when I ask you how are you feeling. John and Mary came to see me. And they've been married for 30 years. And now they're at a point where their marriage is just, man, it was just messed up. And they're like, we've been together since, 18 years old. We don't communicate well. Our, kind of connection not there. We don't problem solve. Our communication is impaired. And they're just going to get divorced. They said that they went, instead of rushing to the courthouse to start the proceedings, that they decided to go away for a couple of days and talk about their relationship. And then they invited me into the equation. So now we're meeting for 4 weeks. In counseling, you got to be consistent, by the way. People come in for a little quick tip. If you really want to change, you got to be consistent. So here they are going through 4 weeks. And so at the beginning of the session, I say to John, you know what I asked him, right? How are you feeling? And he said, I'm good. Sir, I said in my stern therapeutic voice, we don't use I'm good here. Dig a little bit deeper. And he says, well, I feel exhilarated. I feel excited. I feel enthused. I'm like, why do you feel that way, man? I'm like, what? Can you imagine? I mean, when he said I'm good, his wife was like, uh-huh. Mm-hmm. And when he said I'm enthused, I feel excited, she just lit up. What a totally different type of emotional status. So I said, what got you feeling that way? He says, we're communicating better. Our problem solving is better. We're getting along. You know what I'm saying, right there. It's better. We got some young people in the room on and keep them focused. And the future is looking bright. He dug deep. And he got into the positive emotions, which helped him better understand where he is and then connect with his wife. But a lot of us, though, you all look like you're really happy people. Yeah. You're a very happy person, aren't you, most of the time? Yeah, I can tell by your eyes. You gonna make sure you're right. Yeah, I'm looking at you. So a lot of us are really good, Paul, with positive emotions. The emotions that we struggle with are the negative ones. Now, what are negative emotions? They're like anger, bitter, sadness, depressed. Those are the ones that are difficult for us. And yet, if we don't get in touch with those things, then they begin to build up inside of us. I was thinking like, anger. I don't know if there are going to be any angry people there or anybody that struggles with anger. But I wanted to talk about anger. And then I thought about one story in particular. And it's a personal story. And I've never shared it with anybody. And I don't know if I can share it with you or not. It's deep. So I don't know. Can I share my story with you? But just don't judge me, okay? All right. And if I cry, just say you'll be okay. I remember one of my oldest brother, by the name of Dennis, he passed away suddenly. And I was livid. I just couldn't understand what happened. I'm living in Washington, D.C. They're in New York. I know he went to the hospital. And how do I then get a call that he's gone? I just didn't understand what happened to him. Have you ever been there? But I was livid. Anybody ever been livid? Which is different than anger. It's on a higher level. I was livid. So I traveled up to New York. I tried to be there for the family, So what I did, which was good, maybe not as good, but at the time I thought I did was right, I pushed that emotion down because I didn't want to spill over into the services. So I contained it. But as soon as that thing was over, as soon as that service was over, that emotion just came out. I was livid! Couldn't take it. I went to the hospital. Now, New York, I don't know how it is down here, but in New York, it's very strict. You got to go to the desk, fill out the form, show them your ID, and then they give you a pass. And then you got to go by the security guard and show them the pass. And then they let you go upstairs, right? I don't know if it's like that down here, but that's how New York is. So I walked in there livid. Y'all probably can't imagine me being that way because I look so smooth, right? I know. But I walked in there, I was so mad, Paul. I walked right by that desk, and that lady didn't say nothing to me. I walked right by that guard, he didn't say nothing to me. And I got on that elevator, and I went up to the floor that my brother was on, and I went to the desk, I said, I want to see everybody that was with my brother when he passed away. Every single person. And I want to see his records too. And they took me in a room. They didn't even ask for ID or nothing. I must have looked like a lunatic. I'm looking back, I don't really get it, except for that I must have looked that mad, like I will blow this place up. They took me to a room, and they actually brought people in there, and I asked them all these questions. And then they brought the record, and I went through that entire record. But that didn't satisfy me. I left there, I was still mad. I decided I was gonna go to the church, see that pastor. I didn't like what he said during the service. So I went to the church to see him. And I had it out with him too. I don't know what he was thinking. Maybe he probably thought I lost it. He didn't say much as I yelled at him about his statements. Then one night, then I traveled back to Washington, D.C., and I'm hanging out with my lady friend. And I guess I'm still walking around like this because I was livid. I was barking at everything. And she just turned to me, she said, "You're just an angry person. And you need to stop being so angry." And I remember yelling at her in front of all these people, "If you weren't so crazy, if you got in touch with your emotion, you wouldn't be such a disturbed person. I'm angry, I'm gonna be angry as long as I want to." I was mad beyond belief. And I was mad at the world. And I said, I'm gonna take this bat. I'm gonna go up and down the street, and for every car windshield I see, I'm crashing that thing out with this bat. And I did it. Never told anybody. Every single windshield. In the middle of the night, I crashed with the bat. You ever been that mad?
Not yet.
Crashed every single one of those windshields. I crashed them out. In my mind. In my mind, I did it. I did it. Then I realized that I'm still mad. So I went to God, and I just couldn't understand. God, why would you do this to me? I was angry. God, listen. Thank God we serve a merciful God. He didn't just take me away right at that moment. But that didn't take away my anger. So I had to assess, why am I so mad? And I realized I wasn't mad at the hospital. They had done what they were supposed to do. The church did whatever. It wasn't the world. I was mad at myself because I wasn't there with him when he passed away. I dug deep, and then I assessed, and I was able to figure out why I was mad. And then I forgave myself, and that anger left. Imagine if I didn't do that. I'll be smacking y'all right now, right in the middle of this lunch. So I forgave myself. And I figured out, what am I going to do? That's when I got called into ministry, and I made a commitment that I would be there for people who were grieving. Anybody that was in pain, I was going to be there with them. For the last 16 more years, I can tell you hundreds and hundreds of funerals I have done with other people. They say I'm the best out. And that's because I've taken my pain and I've turned it into my purpose. So dig deep, no matter what that emotion is. Name it, name it, name it. It's there for a reason, so you can figure out your next move. Don't be scared of it. I know people like, hey, like the young lady said, you shouldn't be so angry. That's one thing about me, like for brethren, right? You know, I work closely with men because a lot of us die young. I think we die young, and I think people get sick because they don't deal with those emotions. And it just stays in your body. We have strokes, heart attack, diabetes. You gotta deal with emotions. And often what happens is when you start, because I know you're gonna get that feeling, aren't you, right? You're gonna start communicating your feelings, and then people be like, why are you talking so much about your feelings? People are uncomfortable with it, but it's not about what other people feel. It's all about what? It's about your mental health. So we got anger, and then there's the emotion of sadness. Sadness. Sheila came to see me. And she was like, I'm just feeling like out of sorts. She didn't really know how she was feeling. And as we went further, she says, I think I'm depressed. I want to stop right there for a moment. Because there's a difference between being depressed and having depression. And we throw those things around. There are some people who really suffer with depression. And that's a totally different kind of experience. You might need meds, you might need intensive counseling. So there's a difference between being depression and being depressed. She was feeling depressed, overwhelmingly sad. So as we began to assess, she realized why she was feeling that way. She was feeling that way because she hadn't spoken to her sister in over 6 months. They had a big argument and they just like fell apart. And now she's depressed because she was missing her sister. She got in touch with the emotion, she assessed it, and then she came up with a plan that she was gonna reach out to her sister and reconcile that relationship. And as she began to leave, she says, you know, I don't think I feel depressed anymore. I'm starting to feel encouraged. So if you want to enhance your mental health, dig deep and assess the emotion. I'm going to give you a quick fix. You ever just like wake up and you're just feeling out of it? Maybe your boyfriend said something you didn't like, or did something you didn't like. Family members acting up. Something happened on your job, and you just feel sad. You ever feel that? Like, when you feel sad, unloved, rejected, what a emotion, devalued, where do you feel it at in your body? Where? Am I moving around too much, sir? All right. Where do you feel? Oh, all right, well, maybe I'm talking to the wrong crowd because I forgot these people are happy.
They're probably in your heart and mind.
Well,
Heart?
I feel it in
Your
my
heart
chest.
and mind.
You feel it in your chest? Yes. Empowerment, lady. Who?
Your heart
The
and
two
mind.
empowerment people. Yes?
Your
Huh?
heart and mind.
Heart and mind. Okay. Anybody else? Bro.
You're good.
Bro. You never feel loved, unloved, rejected, devalued? No, I probably never did. Never you, sir. Man, I don't know why we don't like to own up to it. We have the same type of emotion.
You gotta release it.
You gotta be honest. But the writer.
He said, in your gut.
You say in your gut. In your gut.
In your gut. Okay. Anybody? Yes, sir. You. Wait, sir. You don't know where you feel sad. You never feel sad. And when you feel sad, you don't know where you feel it. Okay. Cool. All right. I want to give you a quick fix. This really does work. The next time you feeling that way, all right, I want everybody, come on, take your right hand, put it up in the air like you just don't care. Really good. Well, you in the room, right? My man. Sir, you don't want to participate? Okay, we'll force you. You have your rights. All right, let me get right to it then. All right, so take that hand, right? Now place it over your chest. Come on, yo. Excellent. Now begin to rub it. And this is what I do when I'm feeling something. And I got to stay focused, and I love you, man. I love you, man.
Talk to yourself.
I love you. Talk to yourself. Come on, I want you to do now. You're my dude, bro. Come on. I know you're feeling this, man, but it's gonna be all right. It really does. You ain't really trying to do it. You ain't. Wait, doing this one. This is so corny. I'm not gonna touch my. I get that all the time, but I'm telling you, it works. It works. Hey, I love you, man. I love you, man. You my man. Come on, I know you're not feeling good, but you're gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right. All right, now I want to hear you say it to yourself. Come on, speak to yourself. Come on. David said, encourage yourself. Come on. Rub it and say something. All right. Let me put it another way. Just stay with me for a moment. Think about for real talk. Something that you've been going through with your family or your relationship. Come on. Everybody going through something that's been bothering you. Think about it for a moment. Think about it. Little boy finished you or something. Boy finished you? No? Everything's good? Wow. Family? Everything good to family too? Man, you just living the life. You living that best life. All right, I want you to think about it. Now, take that hand again. And now, I don't know, how do you, when you think about that, okay, this is a good test, God. Thank you. Thank you. When you think about it, how is it making you feel?
It eases the pain.
No, I asked you to think about the situation that you're going through, family, job. Anybody want to just share? It's empowerment.
Well, it's making me feel the same. Like
No, what's your emotion? When you,
like, yeah, I'm bitter.
oh, nice. Bitter. I like that one. Thank you.
I'm disappointed.
Oh my goodness, disappointed. Thank you.
And I feel like I deserve better.
You feel devalued.
Yes.
Yes. All right, now for those, some of y'all don't want to speak up, that's okay. Now take your hand and begin to speak to yourself again. I want to hear you say.
I'm worth more. I'm beautiful.
It's gonna be okay.
It's going to be okay. It's going to be all right.
Self-love.
Self-love. That's what it's about, encouraging yourself. All right, let me move forward. How am I doing with time, Paul?
You're doing good.
All right. Dig deep and assess the emotion. Here's number 2. Guard your thoughts. Guard your thoughts. Guard your thoughts suggests that you are paying attention to the very things that you're thinking about. You're paying attention to those things. And you're paying attention to what you allow to come into your head. This is the thing about thoughts. Thoughts, they're just concepts. They're opinions. And I found out that we have, check this out, this is amazing to me. We have 6,000 thoughts a day that pass through our mind. 6,000 thoughts, 6,000. And it's kind of like this, they're just passing. There's 6,000 thoughts. And these thoughts, they are kind of outside of you. They're not who you are. They're just thoughts that are just coming through. 6,000 thoughts. And to me, maybe y'all don't say it, but to me, that's a whole lot of thoughts. And what tends to happen with us, one of 3 things. One, the thought comes, right? And the thought is coming. Nobody loves me. Nobody loves me. Nobody, and we just watching that thought. Nobody loves me. Nobody loves me. Nobody loves me. Nobody loves me. We're just paying attention to nobody. That's when sometimes people go into a funk. You ever go into a funk like you just like, and people go, yo, what's going on? I'm thinking about something. What you're doing, you're just paying attention. Well, I just need time to think about something. And what it is, you're just paying it, you're just focusing on that. And then, sometimes that lasts for an hour a day, and then you let it go. That's just one thought that you decided to pay attention to. And then, so that one is not that bad. You need to think things over. You just have to be careful how long you think about that. So if you find yourself thinking about something, think about it. How long? It's just a thought. You know what? Because there's another one coming. That's just one out of the 6,000. And then sometimes what we do is the thought comes, right? Nobody loves me. Nobody loves me. And we checking that thing out. Nobody loves me. And this is where sometimes when we mess up, we take that thought and we bring it into our head, and that perception becomes our reality, and that's how we start thinking. Nobody loves me. Then we start having all those different emotions because you've taken something, just one thought that was outside of your head, and then you brought it in and you made it your reality. And that becomes how you feel, and you get stuck. And that's where you got to really pay attention to what you're really thinking about. Because I found out Once those thoughts get in the head, it takes Dr. Ken to get it out. Somebody say Dr. Ken on the line. Somebody call Dr. Ken, because once it gets up in that head, it's going to take a lot to get that thought out. My husband doesn't love me. Doesn't love me. He doesn't love me. And everything he does, you just see him that way. You don't love me. You don't love me. Oh, she's a liar. She's a liar. Every time she thought, you just lying to me. You just lying to me. Oh, you're cheating on me. I know you're cheating on me. Oh, every time you go, oh, he's cheating on me. I can tell it becomes your reality. The better way, I want you to remember this, is to guard your thoughts. So when the thought is coming through, nobody loves me. Nobody loves me. It's going to come. You might see it. And when that thought comes, I want you to take a quick second to think about it. And then if it's not in line with reality, toss that thing out. Here we go. Nobody loves me. Nobody loves me. Oh, my mama loves me. I'm never going to get another job. I'm never going to. I got interviews coming up. I'll never get to where I want to be. Greater is me that's in me that's in the world. My finances are never going to get any better. I got some plans for, and toss those thoughts aside. What I'm saying to you, my man, when the thoughts come, think about it, examine it with reality, and then toss it out. Why? Because you got 5,999 more thoughts coming. And the thoughts you want to bring into your head are the thoughts that are life-affirming. And if it should be something difficult and you choose to bring it in, you're thinking about it with a plan so that you can have a plan of action. I was working with a young man, and his grandmother said he's failing out of school. 17 years old, they're saying he's not going to make it. He's just flunking everything. And when I sat with him, I'm almost done, sister. Oh, no. I'm almost done. God, yawning in the speaker's face, the worst thing you can do besides getting up and walk out the door. Don't you walk out on me like that. Give me 5 minutes, I'll be done. 5 minutes. Anyway, so going back to the story. So I took him to see a psychiatrist, right, Paul? And the psychiatrist said, he's mentally challenged. He'll never graduate from high school. I just didn't believe that. So I went to the school and I said, can you do some tests on him, because I just don't believe that he'll never graduate. I don't believe that he won't make it. She actually said he was retarded, which was inappropriate because he'd be mentally challenged, but that's what she, as a psychiatrist, said. So I'll just say, again, toss that one right to the side, because I knew it wasn't grounded in reality. And the test revealed that he had some type of intellectual delay. That means instead of him being able to think about something and right at the moment figure it out, it takes sometimes a couple of minutes to think about it, and then he can get the answer. And so then I began to explain that to him. He better was able to, yes, how are you feeling today?
I'm fine.
How are you feeling today, sir? You all right? Okay. Hey man, I'm just being respectful as I take this seat. Anyway, so he better was able to understand how he was thinking. And then we started, I had him do affirmations every day. I'm smart. I can handle anything that comes my way. I can figure things out. And those are the thoughts that he began to focus on. And my dude graduated from high school. Come on, let's celebrate him right now. All right, so I'm about to close out. What are the two things that I mentioned? I want to know who was paying attention to.
You have to access your emotions.
Before you assess the emotions, you got to do what?
Figure out the emotion.
Yes, right. Thank you. Right, thank you. And what's the second thing?
Guard your thoughts.
And what did I say about guarding your thoughts? How do you do that, sir?
Assessing and see if it aligns.
All right.
Check and see if it's actually reality. Something, like.
If it aligns with reality.
All right, cool. Can I give you one more, and then I'm just going to open up for some questions just in case you have some. Practice mindfulness. Practice mindfulness. All right, we're going to actually do it together now. Can you sit back? I don't know if you're comfortable, sir. Are you comfortable? Go ahead. Sit back. Mindfulness is really getting in touch with what you're thinking and what you're feeling in the moment. Really getting in tune with yourself. So your hands on your lap. Okay, my man actually got his hands on the lap. Can you close your eyes? Everybody can close your eyes. And I want you to inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Come on, go with it, sister. Come on, brother, man. The white shirt. Exhale. Come on, bub. Just try it, man. Inhale. Exhale. Now I want you to tighten up your face. Tighten up your face. And let your face relax. Tighten up your upper torso. And let that relax. Tighten up your left leg. And let your left leg relax. Tighten up your left foot. And let your left foot relax. Tighten up your right leg. And let your right leg relax. And now your right foot. And let your right foot relax. Your left arm. Let your left arm relax. And your left hand. Let your left hand relax. And your right arm. Let your right arm relax. And finally, your right hand. And let your right hand relax. I just want you to pay attention to your breathing and what you're feeling. Now I want you to imagine that you're on a bus. There's nobody else on the bus but you. Of course, the driver. You're somewhere in the Caribbean and you're riding along the water. And now suddenly, the bus stops and you get off. You get on this white top bottom flip-flops. The sun is shining, there's nobody outside. It's a nice breeze and you say, this is the best day of my life. This is the day the Lord has made. And you start to rejoice in it. Then you go towards the water, and the water is so blue you can even see the fish. Then you begin to look at your life. And everything that you see is negative, you start to flip it. Any issue that you have, you're starting to see things that are positive. Then you start to say to yourself, I am worthy. I am lovable. I'm a good person. I feel happy. I feel calm. I love my life and my life loves me. I trust myself. I trust my gut. I love and I accept myself. My life is a gift and it is amazing. I am blessed and I take nothing for granted. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the people in my life And I'm grateful for the lessons I've learned. I'm grateful for where I am at this point in my life. I'm grateful for this Empowerment Brunch Sunday. My life is amazing. And you start to walk away from the water, you say, whenever I feel discouraged or something is going on in my life that just doesn't feel right, I'm gonna come right back to this place. And I'm gonna remind myself of what I just said to myself. And I'm gonna carry this emotion with me wherever I go. You begin to walk away from the water slowly. Then you begin to open your eyes. And as you open your eyes, I want you to stand to your feet. Anybody want to say what they saw and what they felt during that time? Anybody want to say what they felt and what they saw?
I felt calmness.
Calmness. And the point is, no matter what you're going through, no matter how bad it gets, good mental health is about you going inside, assessing your emotions, guarding your thoughts, and you control how you're going to respond to whatever is going on in your life. And what I want you to do, real talk, is develop a affirmation list, and then put them around your house and say them every day. Like, my marriage is amazing. My health is excellent. I'm out of debt. My children are incredible. I'll find the love of my life. And say those things to yourself every single day. True empowerment is really about you. Now, you're leaving here empowered, and you can stay that way each and every day. It all depends on you. Dig deep, assess your emotions, guard your thoughts, and practice mindfulness. Do it every day because you can. Come on, let's celebrate yourself. All right, Paul, y'all can have a seat for a second. I don't want to leave.
You good on time, you can take all the time you need.
Okay, I just wanted to, okay. I finished my presentation, so now I just want to have some. Any questions y'all have of me? No? Okay, well, I'm going to give you another one, then you don't have one, and I'll take my call. 2 minutes, is that all right?
That's fine.
2 minutes, okay. All right, so, he's recording this part, oh well.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Want me to stop? I will.
No, it's Paul's thing, you can keep going.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I have a question. How do you deal with an individual close to you that is in depression, and you can tell they're in depression and they feel that they get in a sorrow state of mind where they feel nobody loves them, and then they act out, and you're trying to reassure them and encourage them because you can see that you're in a depression, and then it starts to seem like it torments you because you're trying to help for the betterment of them, but then it starts to wear and tear and drain you down. So how do you deal with that kind of situation?
Are you married to them?
No, not me.
Oh, it's a friend. All right. Well, people, the thing about depression or negative emotion, people have to come to that on their own. That's not something you can make them come to. They got to come to, what you have to do is make sure you don't become an enabler or you don't become codependent. So you might want to, you tell them what you're observing and give them some type of resource. And then you got to let it go. You got to let it go. Depending on what the connection is, like if it's somebody that was connected to me, if I saw that, then I'm gonna go through that with them, and then I'm gonna, then I'm gonna tell relatives so they can look into it with them. So depending on who it is, really depends on who it is. Tell them how you feel and give them a resource. Like this, people that, you really need to go see somebody. Well, who are you talking about? How? Most people don't know, so you give them a resource. Any other questions?
I got one.
Yes.
How do you deal with the influx of emotions in like teens and adolescents?
Oh, that's a really good question. Is provide a safe place for them. When you're a teenager, these emotions they tend to be all over the place. And what happens is that when we try to tell somebody about it, then they tell us, we shouldn't feel that way. Or they try to put us in check. And you want to have an atmosphere, at least, really, if you could do it once a week, like this is a safe place, Whatever you're feeling, it's okay. You can tell mom, you can tell dad, you can tell me, and let them get it out. Because if I don't get it out with you, I'm gonna get it out with somebody else. And if I don't get it out with somebody else, I'm gonna find a way to deal with it. I'll probably start self-medicating, or I'm gonna act out in school. So you wanna have a safe place, a time you say, whatever you feel. You don't like mommy? You think mommy's stupid? Okay. This is your safe time. I'll get you some other time, though. Yeah, the thing about young people, you never know what's going on in their heads. Like, as a counselor, I hear all kinds of stuff, but yet they don't tell their parents. Why don't they tell the parents? Because we don't provide a safe place. All right. Yes, sister.
Let it go. And I feel like that's so easily said, is to let it go. Right. I feel personal pressure with my job, because I always feel like I'm gonna go. So I never had that time to like come out and dial it back a little bit. And even to the point where it's affecting like my blood pressure, getting migraines, pre-diabetic, like all of that kind of stuff. And I don't have, like I hear people say, oh, you should work out, you should, go walking, and I just don't have time for that. So it's just like, how do you like kind of like find that balance? But I thought the easy answer is to just say, let it go.
Oh, no, it's not what God has for us. And there are other things that God has for us. And by staying there, you just really so no, it's not about letting it go, sister. It's about you deciding, why am I feeling this way? Dig deep. Why am I feeling? And then coming up with a plan of action and doing something about it. There's always more stuff that you can do in your life. You're never stuck. There's more stuff that I'm gonna share one of my stories with you then, right? All right, I guess this is a good time to share it. It's like, it was around 6 years ago. I was like, God, everything's all right, but, I'm doing the church thing. I got this stuff down. They say I'm good over here. I'm doing that, I'm working out in the field. My practice is all right, but I am bored. I'm bored. Anybody ever get bored with their life? It's not that things are bad, but I was like, I just want something. I just need something else. Now check this out, sister. Now what I could have done, right at that moment, it just stayed in there, just let it go. Or I could let it go or just stayed in there. But I know I felt bored. I knew I needed something more. And so I prayed.